Hi, my name's Alex, and in this lesson, I will teach you 5 cultural things you need to know about living in the United States. So, ready? Let's begin. So, when you cross a culture into another country, you may have to ask yourself, how do I greet someone? What do you say? What do you do? Well, here you can see that this guy's saying, well, what do I do now? The other guy's saying, when is he going to take my card? The other person is way too close. She is saying, he seems too unfriendly. And this guy's like, whoa, personal space invasion. And the other guy is saying, I'm next. What should I do now? He doesn't know what to do. And a lot of times this happens when cultures cross. But to help you navigate American culture, I put together this lesson. So please keep watching. We're going to talk about 5 different things to help you. So what do you know about America or the United States? Specifically, what do you know about the United States of America? Well, we have 50 states and many different greetings, many different cultures in different parts of the country. But there are some general things that we do here in the United States. So, one of those things that Americans do that we like is lines. Lines at airports, lines at theaters, lines at motels, lines at amusement parks, and lines at banks. Americans like to wait in line. We don't like to wait. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say we like to wait. But there's this rule that you need to stay in your line. You can't just like crowd the banker, or you can't crowd the person trying to help you. We like organization and lines in this way. And so those are very common, and these are the common places you will see lines. Another very common place is food lines. Yes, waiting in line to order your food is very common. And you can watch my how to order at a Subway video here on YouTube. And you can also subscribe to my channel and watch that video, as well as other English videos to help you. But that's one cultural thing you need to understand. That if you get in front of another person in line, it's considered not good. It's rude. However, if you have an older person or elderly person, you let them go first. That is very kind. That is very nice to do in American culture. However, it doesn't happen a lot. Usually we just wait in the line, no matter what age you are, you just wait your turn. And usually in English, you're thinking turn. But in this, I mean, wait for your opportunity. And that's your turn, like in a game. Your turn. So we wait in line until it's our turn. Got it? Okay, so that's the cultural topic of lines. The next cultural thing you need to know in American culture is personal space. Yes, we like our bubble. If you're too close to me, it might feel a little bit awkward. However, in some cultures like India, it's common to be very close to somebody and say, hi, how are you? And it's not rude at all. However, in American culture, give the American just a little bit more space than you might normally would in your country. So this comic says that, hi, Nardo. And he says, in the old country, we do not have what you call personal space. And so it's just a joke about the bubble. We call it a bubble in American culture. And this guy says, an alien. Not just any alien. I'm a personal space invader. So he gets really close. And this guy says, golly, that sure is uncomfortable. And so it feels uncomfortable when this happens. So what is the right kind of space to have? Well, this picture shows there's intimate space. Like that would be like my wife and I, or my baby, or my children. This is intimate space, or I hug my dad or mom. But there's also personal space. Personal space is when I have coffee, with a friend, or I'm meeting with somebody to talk about things. And that's okay. Like, you're playing with a group of people. Then there's social space where maybe other people, you're at a coffee shop and you can hear other people talking a little bit. And then there's the public space where, it's the overall coffee shop. It's everybody talking everywhere, or at a group, or you're walking on the street. That's public space. Social space might be a little closer, but then you have that personal space and then intimate space. And this is about a good rule of thumb for the space you need to have for that American. And usually that would be the yellow. If you're talking to an American to get to know them as a friend, the yellow zone here on this picture is about where you want to be. Okay. So the next, also with personal space, opening doors. You don't want to, it was common and traditional in a traditional American culture to open a door for another person if they're coming. And you might want to avoid doing this, like this guy. He's like, hey, I'm holding the door for you. It feels what we call awkward. You can see that English word there, awkward, right? It's just awkward to do this. However, if the person is close to me within that yellow zone, like I showed you here, if they're in the social space or the yellow personal space, that's an okay space to do the door opening. But if they're in that public space, it's a little feels uncomfortable and weird, especially if there's some guy doing that for a girl. It can feel a little awkward for that woman maybe if you do this. So just, you can open the door, but just do it when that person is nearby you. And sometimes some people don't want you to open the door for them. They want to open the door by themselves. So if they do, let them do that. So that's a little bit on American culture on personal space. The next topic is gifts, like giving gifts. Okay, so when do I get a gift? But really, who do I buy a gift for? Is it anybody? Well, in like China, it's common to get many small gifts and bring them with you in the hopes that when you do meet a new person, you give them a small gift. This is also kind of common in Japan and Korea, as well as some other countries. Maybe you come from a culture in Asia where it's very common to bring gifts, or maybe in your country, maybe you're in Latin America, very common to bring a gift to give to somebody with no expectation of return. Sometimes there is, but that's just this one. But in American culture, do I buy a gift? If so, what is the right gift to buy? When do we give one another gifts? Well, usually we give gifts for family or close friends, special occasions, birthdays or holidays, and sometimes as a sign of encouraging others, like when somebody's sick in the hospital, I'll bring them a gift or something nice. Not always. I may just go and see them, and just being there is a gift to that person. But sometimes we'll bring a gift like balloons or flowers, like anniversaries, right? My wife and I, maybe I'll get her a gift, or maybe we'll both spend money together on something together, and we get a gift. But a common gift, especially around holiday time, is a gift card. So we might do a gift card to Amazon, to Target, to many of these places. Whatever your friend likes, you find out what they like, you get them a gift card for that. So, for example, my brother-in-law is a hunter. So I might get him a gift card for Bass Pro Shops, or I might get him a gift card for Cabela's or another store where I can give him a gift card. And then there is the gift card for coffee shops. So if you know someone likes coffee, you can get them a gift card. Okay, the fourth one, actually, I should go back to this on gifts. It's also common for children, the parents of children, to buy gifts for the teacher of the children in December and also May. So every December, my wife and I will buy like a small gift for each of our children's teachers. And then in May, we also buy a gift for those teachers. And so I encourage you, if you want to encourage a teacher, I know teachers really like gift cards, so they can kind of choose what they want to buy. Because I'll be honest, my sister-in-law is a teacher as well. And she told me that teachers get so many mugs, they don't know what to do with them. So if you're thinking, I want to buy my son or daughter, teacher a gift, get them a gift card. That teacher will be very happy, especially if they're an American teacher in an American school system. But it doesn't matter if they're American or not. In American culture, a gift card goes a long way. Okay, enough of that. You can You could disagree with me about gifts below in the comments. That's fine. The fourth thing in American culture is time, like time, okay? We value time. And so this guy says, I'm sorry, I'm a few minutes late for our 10:50 meeting. He says, we'll have to reschedule because I have another meeting at 11. And then she comes late and she says, reschedule. I'm only 10 minutes late. And he says, tell that to my 11:10. So he's got blocks of 10-minute time scheduled for each of these meetings. And you can't go over 1 minute. And so this is a funny graphic on late person vocabulary. 1 minute, 15 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, 40 minutes. Oh, give me a sec. 1 hour, 30 minutes, 1 hour or more. Oh, about an hour. Okay, that's next year. And special note, this graphic was made, in 2016. So really we could say about an hour, 2020 or 2020, it could say. So that's something on time. Also, this image is meant to be sarcastic. It's not true about time. It's a joke. Sarcasm means an ironical comment or a sharp joke. So it's kind of meant to be funny. Okay, so here's the real advice for time, right? If you do not arrive at or near the intended time, it may offend the host. Well, why? Because the host will feel like they spent all this time making preparations for you, and arriving late means that you don't appreciate or value their time when you get there. When is it okay to be late, though? Well, parties, flexible events, and open houses. You can be late for those. That's okay. But I would say be late, only 30 minutes late. You can be, if you're late longer than that, the American starts to think, oh my gosh, are they okay? Did they get in a car accident? Oh, what happened to them? Why are they not here? They will start to worry a little bit about you, and they'll wonder if you're coming at all. And they'll say, oh, I guess they're not coming. And then you come 1.5 hours late. They will be like, oh, they feel a little offended that you didn't arrive on time. I know in your country, it may show courtesy to arrive late, and you're showing kindness that way. But in American culture, try to be on time. It shows a lot of respect to the host. But for parties and some of those events, you can be a little bit later. But the general rule of thumb is, come at 3, try to be there at 3 o'clock. The cultural rule is about 10 minutes early, or it is somewhat, late is somewhat acceptable. And I'm sorry, my head here, this little square is cutting off the words in this slide, but I'll tell you my advice for you is if you are going to be late, especially 30 minutes to 1 hour late, let your host know. If you're going to be 10 to 15, 20 minutes late, it's okay. You can arrive late. But if you will be quite late, okay, this is going to be more than 30 minutes, text your host, send them a message, call them, say, I'm sorry, I will be late. You can send them an email. They will worry about you if you don't tell them why you're late. That's just an American cultural thing you need to know about time. Okay, the fifth, tipping at a restaurant. Yes, tipping at a restaurant. Where and when do you tip? How much money is appropriate? Well, as a general rule, 15%, 10%. If it's good service, really good service, 20% tip is a good tip. And here's how you know. Well, okay, that tells me how much percent, but how do I know if where I'm at I should give money to the person? I will tell you. Do you have a server come to you at your table? If yes, someone like this or this, and they say, may I take your order? What would you like to drink? What would you like to eat? And you're sitting down at a table and that person asks you, maybe they give you a menu to look at. Oh, they have fish here. They have hamburgers. You're looking at a menu. Probably yes. Then yes, you need to leave a tip because they are helping you and they're serving you. Okay. However, if no, you don't have a server come to you, do not leave a tip. Okay. If you're like at McDonald's or a Subway or a Starbucks, you don't have to leave a tip. You can just order in line, pay them money. Now, sometimes they'll have a jar where you can put an extra dollar in for tips. It says like tip jar. You can see that I give a whole lesson on how tipping works in the United States. So if you subscribe to my channel here, you can watch that video and learn about how tipping really works. This is just a quick overview of tipping in the US. And so like at Subway, yeah, line up. You don't need a tip. But in this sentence, a tip does not mean advice. So if you're trying to find your dictionary tip, what is tip? It might say to give advice. That's also another definition. But in this situation with restaurants, a tip means to give an extra percentage of money to your server. All right, so those are the 5 cultural things you need to know. We talked about lines, we talked about time, we talked about personal space, we also talked about, what do we do? Tipping, and I'm missing the 5th one. What was the 5th one I told you? Yep, time. Gifts, that's right. I told you about gifts. So those are the 5 things that you need to know. And I'm sorry I'm jumping around here, but you get the point. So how do you survive in American culture? Well, if you don't know something, ask someone. People are willing to help you, but you have to say, I'm sorry, I don't know. Can you please help me? Say, excuse me, can you please help me? It's normal. It's okay to ask. Learning new things takes anything. Language, culture, always takes time. Language takes time. Building friends takes time. But I encourage you to be courageous. Don't give up. Even if you're just coming here to visit for a short time or you plan to live in the United States of America, be courageous. And ask a real person. Don't just rely on what Google or the news tells you. Find a real human to talk to. I mean, I know I'm here on YouTube and you probably did a Google search to find my video. That's okay, but I'm telling you, I'm a real person, so I'm trying to tell you what I think and what might help you. And if you do come here, ask an American. Say, what do you believe about? Or what do you think of this? Or here, even on YouTube, if you want to comment below, you can ask me. Say, hey, Alex, what do you think about this? Go ahead, ask as much as I can. I can't promise a fast answer because I have 4 children and a full-time job too, but I'll try to respond to your comments. So feel free to ask me anything in the comments here that you might want to know about American culture, and I'll tell you at the bottom of this video. Also, if you want to improve your English more, subscribe to my channel here. Watch some of my lessons with speaking and listening and explanations. You can also take my 8-week course online. It's pretty cheap. I think on Udemy it's only $29. You can get my class online. Go to that website, udemy.com, or click below this video. Get this 8-week course to help you improve your English. And I do a lot of cultural phrases and expressions that we say from childhood, how we talk, ordering at places, traveling, going to the bank, driving words. Many things you need to know in American culture is in my 8-week class. And you can get is Phrase It. Just type Phrase It on Amazon.com, or you can Google Phrase It, and you can get this card game, and it will help you practice very common, frequently used phrases, but in a fun way with a game. And I also have how to play videos here on YouTube. For more questions and comments, please comment below this video and ask me any question you want about American culture. I'll see you in a future lesson.